What's good, y'all? It's 2 p.m. I just woke up. Don't judge me. I'm gonna tell y'all the dream I just had because the dream is so cool. It's not that cool. It wasn't action packed, but I think it really does dig deep into who I am. Maybe. I don't think it does, but I just wanted to say that because it's cool. So the dream starts off with the bento boys, not all of us. I think it was 6 of us. We go to the beach, but this beach is really weird, and I only like conjured it up. But in the dream world, it was like it looked normal. But the beach in the dream world was pretty much school park, but with sand. I don't even remember seeing water, but I guess it's a beach. So imagine water at the end of the track or end of the field. But yeah, it was just a school park with sand completely, and then yeah, just sand. Just imagine a school park with sand, and it was the bento boys. I think we had Kyle. He invited 6 of his friends because I remember them being Asian, and I assumed that's Kyle's work. But before we hung out with his friends, with those girls, we played some basketball on the small rim at School Park Beach. Don't forget, it's still a beach on Lake Ontario. But we played basketball, and that was this whole side plot because we're playing with like Russell Westbrook and Paul George and someone that played like Shaq. Maybe it was Shaq. It was Shaq. No, it was Shaq because I remember this is what happened. All right, so Russell and Chris Paul doubled Paul George. I caught the ball and I passed it to the post with Shaq, and then Shaq easily dunked it. And then that was the game-winning dunk, and I asked him, he was like, "Yo, Shaq, did you not really like Kobe?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, big fella at the time, but we were good and we were brothers or something like that." And then I had to talk with Shaq, and that whole subplot ended. Very fun subplot. I really like that basketball. 10 out of 10. Fun basketball. And then that's when like the reality of the dream started to hit, I think. So so saw the beach, and then Kyle drove, Mark drove, and Brian drove. No, Brian didn't drive, but he walked. Because in the world it's still just school park, so he lives close, but it's at the beach, so I don't know why he walked. But Mark left. By Mark, he drove home. Brian left. And then that's where I was like, damn, I should have left Brian, because now the rest of the boys are gonna hang out with some girls. I don't really care. I just want to hang out with the boys, but yeah, you know, Sam, Kyle, you know, those type of guys, right? And then they were all in like they're all like hanging out. So Kyle and the girls and all those and the rest of the guys that are still there, they're like having fun with the girls. And then I wasn't there. I just peek around the corner. I see them. I was like, nah, that's not me. That's not me. And then now this is where I'm alone for the rest of the dream. And this is where it gets trippy. This is where it gets so trippy. I wanted to play volleyball so bad because it was like a 6v6. And there's so many people at the beach. It wasn't just like school park where it's usually empty. It was packed like a beach, but it's at school park. I keep mentioning it's at school park. But yeah, it was really weird. It was packed. It was like how a real beach would be. And then, so this is where I get isolated. So I leave the beach. I take a streetcar. So Toronto, the beach, the one I only know, that's near me. It's not downtown. It's a little east. But here it's like streetcar, and then you're already pretty close to downtown. You're close to the, was it Queensway Highway or whatever? The downtown highway, the express that goes east to west. Queensway, yeah. So I get to like under that bridge because it's just the under bridge part, and then so point is I'm out of the beach. I'm like, what the hell? So so this is where I'm alone because for some reason I leave because I felt so out of place and I was so shy to go hang out with Kyle and Kyle. I don't know who else was in the dream, but big emphasis on Kyle because Kyle had my basketball in his car and my backpack. So if I wanted to leave, I should have asked Kyle, but I was so shy that I didn't even ask Kyle. And then for in the dream, I waited. It's like, okay, maybe I'll just wait for them to leave. I'll just go work out or something. And before I left the beach, I entered this building. Had all the coolest stuff. It had basketballs for rent, workout equipment. It's like, if you want to work out, you go into this building and you rent out. For some reason, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Let me not do any of that and go explore. It's like this. And then what I do is, like, when I leave, it's nothing like Toronto. Except for, like, that area of downtown under the highway. But, yeah, so I take the streetcar around, take another streetcar, and then I walk, and now I'm just in this, like, street area that resembles one. So, you know, at the start of Wonderland, there's a bunch of stores, like McDonald's, and not the roller coasters yet, but, like, close to the waterfall. It was very nice looking. So I was there, a lot of nice stores, a lot of bars, a lot of clubbing. I'm literally just strolling around. In the dream, it's 2 a.m. It's already 2 a.m. I'm trying to make it back. I was gone for too long. I checked my phone. Kyle doesn't call me to pick me up, or like Kyle isn't curious at all where I am. So I assume that they're still hanging out with the girls, and there's nothing for me to worry about them leaving, because if they're leaving, they would have called me. So yeah, I'm just strolling. The street is like flooded with water, probably because of the weather. I don't know. So these people are like knee deep in water, and they just have to pull my pants up and just thug it out. And people are going home. It's 2 a.m. A lot of people are going home. Yeah, you don't know where this dream is going either. There's no conclusion to the dream. I'll let you guys know that right now. But yeah, and then I go to this Italian restaurant. I didn't even eat there. I was just trying to leave, and then I got trapped in there, and I was like, oh no, this is not exit. I was like, oh really? And then I left again. That's where the dream technically ended. But like, there's a lot of details in the dream. It was like, oh wait, this place is kind of like CNE when the CNE event isn't taking place, or the exhibition. If you guys remember, not the exhibition, Ontario Place. You guys remember Ontario Place? Like, oh, it's like those places. And yeah, I keep walking. The water is still there. A bunch of people are leaving. And then, yeah, I see the exit, and then the exit apparently enters the beach as well. I don't know how. Oh, and the beach and where I was at is separated by like a river, like a big like canal. Like how? I'm trying to think of some real world examples, but I can't think of any. Like there's a river running between us, like New York, from like one island to the other. That's a bad example. But maybe Chicago. But yeah, there's a river because I checked the Google Maps in the dream. I was like, damn, how did I get this far from the beach? And the beach was huge in the map, but when I was there, it was only the school park. That's so funny. And then I said and then like 800 times in this video. I was like, damn, that's a long ass walk. I'll just meet them where I'll thug it out. 2 a.m., almost 3. The world's still lively in this. A lot of people are going home right now. Those guys, I don't know what they'll be seeing. They're like having fun with those girls. They're like playing like not spin the bottle. They're playing like tennis ball throws, or I don't know. And then there's a real canal of water. I was like, damn, that's a long walk. Wow. I don't know. I mentioned that, but it's like the dream world I had. It conjured up. It was really pretty. Past couple bars. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Trying to have more details. Yeah, so I don't know. So the beach was north, I think, and then where I was south. And Toronto wouldn't work, so just don't think of Toronto. So what happened was I left the beach. I went south with a streetcar, then east to west. I went west with the streetcar. That's where I ended up in like this downtown looking Toronto bit under the bridge. And I walked up north a little bit, and then now I'm like in this very nice social area, nightlife area. I walk around and I check Google Maps. I was like, damn, I'm far from the beach. And then yeah, I was like, yeah, it's pretty fun.